lighting people. In US and Canada commercial lighting markets, the lighting agent plays an important role in connecting manufacturers with specifiers, distributors, contractors, end users, and other lighting stakeholders in each local marketplace. And until recently, there really hasn't been an organization or an association primarily focused on advancing the lighting agency business or the profession of being a lighting agent. But that all changed in late 2021 when an agent principal from Atlanta, together with an agent principal from Philadelphia, collaborated to form AAILA, the American Association of Independent Lighting Agents. So we're pleased to be joined today by the two founders of AAILA. First, Jay Andrews of Next Generation Lighting in Atlanta. Jay, hello, and thank you for joining us today for 5 Big Questions.
Hey, Al. Thanks for inviting us on. Looking forward to the conversation.
Looking forward to it as well. And we're also joined today by Billy Hodges, Principal of Digital Filaments in Philadelphia. Billy, hello, and thank you for joining us today for 5 Big Questions.
Hey, Al. Thanks so much for having us on. We really appreciate it.
Billy, let's start with you. Why does the lighting industry need AAILA?
Well, it occurred to us over the last couple of years, actually, that there really is no organization for the professional lighting sales channel, somewhere between the manufacturer and the end user, the specifier, the distributor. None of those folks, there's nothing celebrating or improving the channel from one end of the sales process to the other. So that was important for us to think about. I mean, when we thought about the industry, we thought about IES and IELD, we thought about NAED and NECA. All of these organizations are there to help with the improvement, with the collaboration and the continuous development of the people in those segments of the industry. We're not, we deserve and need to have that kind of attention spent on the lighting sales channel as well.
Well, you folks are off to a fast start. It seems like every day I see a new announcement of a new manufacturer partner, a new agent partner. One of the things you folks promote, Jay, is that you can help better foster that communication between manufacturer and lighting agent, but the manufacturers already have, regional sales managers and others whose job it is to do that. So why would a manufacturer, or how could a manufacturer benefit by having AAILA step in and help with that communication streamline between the manufacturer and the agency base?
Yeah, I think, similar to what Billy said, this is an organization focused on better collaboration between the lighting manufacturers and the agents who represent their lines in a market. Ultimately, we're all about selling more lighting. And I think that's a big thing in terms of communication between manufacturers and their sales agents. Right now, our agency, like most, is in the period of time where we look back on 2021, we plan for 2022 with our manufacturing partners. And almost every webinar that I'm on or conference call that I'm on, they ask, how can we get closer to your customers, or how can we better communicate with your sales team, inside sales team, et cetera. And because this is an organization comprised of manufacturers and agents, what's going to happen is we're going to create almost best practices that the manufacturers and their sales team can utilize to better work with their existing agency sales force. I think that one of the things that is key is we all represent more than one line, and so manufacturers are always needing to figure out a way to better work with an agency sales staff, get their message in front of them better than another line. And so with this collaboration between manufacturers and agents within this organization, I think we're going to be able to deliver some key action items they'll be able to utilize.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Billy, when I was first processing the concept of AAILA, I was imagining that it might be more beneficial to the smaller agents or the smaller, more independent manufacturers that don't get the agent's attention every day like some of the big names do. But in the first month or two of AAILA, I've seen some big agencies, some big names join the fold as founding members. So tell me, when it comes to the AAILA benefits, does company size matter?
So I think, on one hand, you're right that the independent small agent, independent small manufacturer maybe doesn't have the resources to invest in education on the same level that some of the larger ones do. But if you look at what's available from manufacturers in terms of training, in terms of what's out there from other organizations, there's really nothing that's focused on the lighting sales relationship and from a non-proprietary point of view, being able to talk about topics like dark sky and TM30 from a sales non-proprietary point of view is a real benefit to a lot of folks. So your advanced salespeople, your mid-level salespeople who might be looking to take it to the next level, through our continuous improvement and the certifications that we hope to offer here in the coming years, will help to provide a path for HR to suggest that folks can go and get certified. And then with that certification, they're entitled to look at the next level within a larger agency. All of those things are, of course, benefits to the small agencies and small manufacturers as well.
That's great. Sounds like lots of great toolkits and collaboration, best practice sharing, and all those other things you get from associations, along with the collegiality as well. But let's take it back. When Jay, you and Billy each run your own agencies in separate cities. So let me ask my favorite type of question, one that's partially self-serving. How did you and Billy from Philly get connected? What's the origin story?
That's a crazy question, Al. I appreciate you asking that. I actually went back because I sort of thought you might ask this question. And October the 14th of 2020, you were kind enough to host me at a coffee shop right there by the worldwide headquarters of Inside Lighting to hear me out, hear this idea that I had about an association or organization, and to just, does this make sense? Is this something that is needed? And during that conversation, I had shared that I had gone down the path of finding a third-party administration company to sort of head this thing up, so it wouldn't be a distraction or detract from what we were trying to do as running this agency in Atlanta. And you said, it's crazy. I was having the same conversation with this guy named Billy from Philly. Do you know Billy? And I said, no. Who was that? You explained it. You made the introduction, and Billy and I quickly got together over the course of 6 months, I guess, 6-8 months, coming up, really finalizing this. And the interesting thing is we held 2 or 3 agency roundtables to really codify what we were trying to accomplish. We did the same thing with manufacturers. And so you'll see as the membership list continues to grow, a lot of those companies were part of really formulating the idea behind this. But it all kicked off with the introduction you made to me and Billy. And one day I hope to meet Billy in person, since we haven't had a chance to do that yet. So we'll do that at Education.
Oh, right. That's fantastic. I remember that day as well. I don't remember the date, but I do remember that October day in 2020. And Jay, sometimes people ask me for meetings or a phone call, and they're lighting people who see what Inside Lighting does. And really 9 times out of 10, it's not really that productive. But I was so enthusiastic after that meeting that you were onto something with this lighting agency organization, potentially involving, me, but obviously I didn't participate, and then you and Billy just took it over the goal line in a great way. But it was just something I was really enthused about when I first heard the concept, and I'm glad to see it come to fruition. So not only am I reporting on this, I'm also enthusiastically supporting you guys with as much gusto as possible, because I want to see this succeed, because I think the industry and the agencies out there could utilize all these benefits that you're offering. You mentioned you never met Billy face to face, which is odd considering you're such like teammates and partners in this growing organization. So let's talk about that, Billy. What do you have planned as an organization for how can people get involved and get together to kick things off with your organization?
Well, we've got, we survey new members on what they hope to get out of the organization. And one of the things that comes up in almost every response is networking. And that's interesting because there are networking shows out there, but there is nowhere to network between agents and manufacturers exclusively without a customer looking over your shoulder or interrupting the concept, because that lighting designer is really important. Hold on a second, let me get a hold of them. And so that's a big deal. And what we found in our roundtables was that we really wanted to make agents and manufacturers equal partners in this. And we made a very big tent structure. We wanted agents and manufacturers to be members. We're not asking the manufacturers to sort of fund the organization like often happens in the big organizations. Will you sponsor this for $10,000? Will you do this for that? It just becomes a big burden on the manufacturers. And we heard that loud and clear. So we made our membership dues very approachable so that we could all get together. We've got 2 events coming up. One's at Education, which is Monday evening. And this is for the principals of the agencies that are members and the representatives from the manufacturers who are the prime points of contact for AAILA. And it'll be a cocktail hour before everybody goes out to their important dinners. But it's a chance just to get together face to face and introduce the organization, lay out a little bit about our plans for creating a board for the organization and committees for the organization, and sort of set the table for when we get together for what we hope will be one of the big social events of the year, which is our event right prior to Light Fair at in Las Vegas, which we hope to have it at a very fun place, and more news on that coming later. But this will be open to everybody at the agency, not just the principals, and it'll be a chance for everybody who's in Vegas at the time to finish their work at the convention center and then head on out for a good time.
That sounds fantastic. And when you think about all these independent business people at the agency level, entrepreneurs who sometimes put their financial neck on the line to start a business, grow a business, and pay employees and attract lines and do all that. There's some of the smartest people that I've met in this industry, and savvy, and they can fight it out for an order on the street level, but then do big picture strategic things that are really smart and interesting. So I can't wait to see all the collaboration that occurs among the various agents. And you had me a cocktail hour. I'm going to buy my ticket to Leducation, my plane ticket, and make sure that I'm there for the cocktail hour as well. You didn't invite me, but I'm inviting myself. So I'll see you guys there. And Billy, thank you for joining us today for 5 Big Questions.
Thanks so much, Al. And Jay and I talked it over, and we want to offer you a silver sponsorship for all the work that you've been doing. So thanks so much. We'll have you on board here. And that means you have a ticket to the cocktail hour, and we look forward to seeing you there.
What an honor and a privilege. And I say that sincerely. So really, thank you for involving me, and appreciate that, Billy. And Jay, thank you it's been great getting to know you, and thank you for joining us today for 5 Big Questions.
Thanks, Al. It's always good to see you, good to talk to you, and we look forward to seeing you in New York.
Hey there, we really enjoyed that discussion. We hope that you did as well. Be sure to click that big LED logo next to me, and what that'll do is subscribe you to our YouTube channel so you don't miss the next 5 Big Questions interview. And YouTube subscribers always receive an early preview to the next interview before we even post it on the Inside Lighting website. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.